All right, we're back. Milan Derby weekend. We still have no title. We've been so bad at this.
Latino Puccio podcast.
I don't even want to name it that. We just have it in the background because
We're
they're the
Tino and
only
friends.
colors that works. Who's in here? Anthony's in here. Hello, Anthony. How are you? Good morning. Always supporting. Says hello to you as well, Matt. Big weekend, Derby weekend. This is massive for top four implications. Definitely not a title chase type of match that we would have expected, but we have our good friend Mario here, who is also a massive Napoli fan, as you could tell if you follow him on Twitter. Mario, thanks for joining us. I know you were just in your bed like 20 minutes ago.
It just rolled out. It's too cold. I'm freezing still.
Bro, you haven't wanted to play your new PS5 that you won, or no?
Yo, I gotta tell you something after that. You'll laugh.
After this, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to blow up your spot.
Okay. Well, Mario won the PS5 from Odds Checker.
It
So
was fixed.
congrats.
I'm
It's
convinced it
it's
was
fixed.
fixed.
I mean, honestly, like no one joins it. No one's
I
like
s-
joining the competition. It's
Because they
I
don't
saw
think they're
that
gonna
like
win. That's
yeah,
what it is.
I saw 20 people comment and I was like, it ends tomorrow. Why not?
20 people. I'm like, hey, I should hop in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, yeah. There's been cash giveaways. We have another one coming out later today, and then there was also the one for like $500, just like last week. So I don't know who the winner is just yet on that, but all you had to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, comment on shit. Um, yeah, Anthony Pioli with a new formation. I mean, first of all, Mario, I guess we could talk to the Inter side of things first, and then we'll talk about Milan because there's tons of stuff with that. For Inter, very weird season. You guys don't draw any matches. You basically win or lose. You beat some terrific teams and then you lose to some awful teams. But in reality, this is probably the most Inter of all Inter seasons. Players potentially leaving, Lukaku being out of shape or playing poorly. Dzeko seems to still play well and contribute. Looks like more players out the door. Skriniar, obviously the biggest news. It was just announced by Fabrizio Romano saying that he's been stripped of his captaincy and he's obviously leaving for PSG come summertime. So yeah, I mean, we could talk about Inter first and then get into Skriniar and your thoughts on that. But overall, Inter this season, you got a trophy. It's not the worst, but it's
Something.
just is it really just like the long-term outlook for the club that's kind of just like ruining the current moment? Because second place and knockout of the Champions League and a trophy is like not the worst on paper, but just the overall vibes of the club feel pretty low. Am I wrong on that?
No, you're pretty spot on. It's like a weird time. Like this team just needs like a Netflix special just so you can see how fucked it is in the background and how just nothing works, but then it ends up working. Like we're having such a bad season and we're in second place.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even. And then you guys are like fifth place, 2 points behind us. What are we doing?
Yeah,
Like,
and ours is objectively awful. Maybe the
yeah,
worst title defense of all time.
like it's just you hate to see it on both ends. Like we've gone through like 2.5 captains this year. If you want to throw in like D'Ambrosio filling in, it's it's unreal. We started with Handanovic in goal, then everyone called for his head because he let up stupid goals, and then okay, we'll make Skriniar captain. But then that whole situation's screwed because he doesn't want to resign
Yeah.
because the management's poor and they make stupid decisions. And I think they wanted like Bremer. They banked on that or some stupid
Yeah.
nonsense so
Yeah.
they can get rid of him for PSG, and that didn't work out. Now they're stuck, and he wants to be the highest paid player. From my understanding, it's all just nonsense. And if you want to win, if you want to have a collective group to fight for Scudettos, Champions League, and this, you can't have that kind of mentality where it's everyone's just not on the same page and you're just using players as chips and they don't feel valued. So I mean, what would you do if you were Skriniar? You'd want to leave too, I'd imagine, right? They're not giving you what you want. I mean, you deserve to be paid. You're the best player on the team, you know, in some cases. So what do you do with the management that doesn't want you?
I think the one thing that's weird about that situation too, and this is more of a broader conversation to have on the landscape of Serie A, right? Because I think, I look back to a tweet I made, I want to say year ago, 2 years ago, and the whole Donnarumma saga and everything going on there, and how it was kind of a foreshadowing as to what's to come, right? All these players are just leaving for free for big money, and the wages that they're offering are pretty fair for their value, but it's really difficult if you're Skriniar to say, I'll take 7 million when PSG's turning around and they're just backing up the Brinks truck and they're giving
Yeah.
me double that. And it's also difficult for Inter to rationalize paying him 7 to 8 million. And then, much like with Milan, where it's like, yes, you can give him the money, but it's like there's holes everywhere. There's holes in the defense, there's holes in the attack. We want to add this player, we want to add that player. The money's got to come somewhere. And I think it's a Serie A problem. Juventus with Paulo Dybala. Like, you don't think they could have used Paulo Dybala?
Both clubs.
They already had. They didn't have to pay a transfer fee for him. Do you think he's worth this 7 million, 6 million he was asking? Right now he is. Looks like he's playing pretty well for Roma.
Yeah.
And he's getting a 4.5 at Roma. So
Correct.
It's like
Bonuses,
the league really retain its top stars. And we could see the same thing with Milan, with Leao. It's like 7 million, 6.5 to 7 million is a fair offer. But fair to who? When he says
sporting deal. Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's a weird one this week with him because you have GDS saying one thing, and then the club goes out and makes a public statement saying that's untrue about how the negotiations went, and the Fabrizio Romano reports on it, and then Leao replies to it saying thank you, and then he actually deleted that tweet, which was interesting. Not that it matters. I guess probably the club was just like, all right, no need to pour on this. We made our statement. That's it. And then GDS doubled down on it. So obviously someone's lying. And then his lawyer comes out and his lawyer is saying that's untrue. He wants to stay. I don't care if he wants to stay. Just prove it. I know these negotiations are different. There's no 19 million euro, fine that other players have to pay over the course of their life like he does, even though it might be between Lille and them. It's just, this is where these clubs can't manage. Yeah, could they offer the salary? Sure, but there's always something. But even then, for like Skriniar, Mario, like why would other players want to stay at Inter at this point? Not to be disrespectful, like long-term outlook, why would you want to stay at this club? Because if you miss top four, I don't think you will, but if you miss top four, what is the point in staying there? You're not in Champions League. You're getting worse because now it's 60 million net. Skriniar is going to count towards that. So it's going to be Dumfries is definitely one of the casualties.
Has to be.
He's not going to be up to 60. Do you think what other player do you think? Lukaku will go back. That doesn't even count either. Would you sell Lautaro or Brozovic?
They've always found a way to manipulate the youth and sell them for 20, 30 million dollars at a time under the radar, and like it's just not spoken of because they have so many good players in their system.
Today, right? Over the summer.
Exactly, 20 million. So if you look at all the seasons going back to God knows when, you'll all see like, how does this team stay afloat? It's like, oh, the youth players, they have the best youth team in Italy more often than not. And they sell these guys and just collect a crazy sum of money because they're not going to play
short term. Yeah, for the short term.
Yeah. So they don't really plan for the future in that case. So they end up buying the Dumfries and all these guys that they hope fill in. And then you have like a casualty of like Brozovic, or you have the Lukaku, you have the Hakimi, where you have to sell the big money. This year, I'm probably going to say it's Brozovic. It looks like he's just not wanting to be there. I mean, he's played 7 games or something like that. It's like insane how little he's played this year for this team. Yeah. And I mean, considering it's went well, I mean, you can't complain. Second place in a Napoli team that just can't be stopped.
I mean, you could think too, like at Inter, right? If you look on paper coming into the season, healthy Brozovic, you get Lukaku back on an absolute like masterclass deal. It seemed like, right? A very inexpensive loan. Potentially, they were going to let Inter have him for another season for free, from what I was reading early on in the season. And you're thinking Inter can they can get the title back.
Yeah. And
now you're looking at like they're virtually nothing from Lukaku.
No.
Brozovic is a non-factor, and yet to your point off the top, Mario and Martino, like they're in second place. Like
against all odds.
Yeah, is that the coaching? Is that just everyone being very, very poor this year, or
Yeah.
inconsistent? I don't know. Maybe a mix of the two, but I think that
But it's with one draw still, I
yeah, I
believe.
mean, they're feast or famine, and I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what I guess maybe Martina, you can kind of segue this into the derby. It's like I don't know if we can see a prediction from one of us that says that it's a draw here because I mean they either win or lose.
It's a high scoring draw if that. But I did want to really quick on the screen yard thing.
Yeah.
Because I know that was just the overlook of Inter in general. But I mean, this is a. I thought this guy would actually stay. It's like Suning is willing, from what I understand and see from extensions that they give, that they're willing to pay up for players. They're not shy of giving these kind of high numbers that certain players have gotten. Brozovic got his extension eventually. There's been other players, like there was no indicator that like Milan, like this is our offer, either take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And like we saw players leave. And with Inter, they were pretty much like giving probably above market for Serie A, and they kept these players. But him, I think the reluctancy to sell him in January is like to strip him of the captaincy and not sell him and just like say we just need you to make top four. This is what it's all about right now. Like morale wise, it's just weird to me. We already see him get the double yellow. This is easily his worst season in a couple years as well. He's just been very shaky. I think the whole team's been very shaky defensively. I think both teams have been awful defensively,
Terrible
by their standards. Goalkeeper situation for us is one thing, but you got your replacement. Bastoni's kind of regressed as a defensive player strictly. He's still talented offensively, but I think this is, I guess, the long-term effects of not having Antonio Conte there. I think it's affected multiple players. And Inzaghi's a good coach. I like him. It's just I think it was a thankless job to take. It was a sinking ship, and it was a move to a big club that rewarded him with a couple of trophies that he already won at Lazio. So it's no disrespect to what he's doing, but
and the key thing too with
like
that,
lateral.
It's almost like the same thing in a way with Pioli. Like Pioli won the Scudetto last year, and Zaghi has won a trophy here. He's won a couple trophies. Obviously, not the one that Inter fans want because is being the Scudetto yet. At least I say yet, right? Because you never know what can happen in the coming seasons or whatever. But they're not the type of managers, unlike Conte, who are going to kick the door down on the board and say, "Give me this player, give me that player," demand a big market. And in a way, it's like that's why there may be jobs that are more secure than the fans would hope. In a way, because even earlier in the season, people were saying, Inzaghi, he might need to go. He might not be the guy.
Yeah.
We might need to get something else in there. And people saying the same thing about Pioli now, but they're not the type of character that's going to demand such a high value market. And that's not what fans want to hear. They want to see the club spending, reinvesting, getting players that can really move the needle. So in a way, like these two teams, like Milan and Inter, their projects are kind of in like similar spots. Like I think this is a great time if you're Napoli and you're Napoli fans. Martino, you're not Martino, Mario, you're a Napoli fan here.
Thank you.
Like this could be a potential like domination era for Napoli if the stars align for them. If they were able to retain these top players, which historically they have been, but just getting it back onto Inter Milan, like both these projects are kind of in weird spots. I think Milan have some good players, but if they run the risk of not getting top four, what does that mean for some of these other players that are already? Like Teo, like does he come in and want to get Teo? Like they want to play Champions League. I understand they're under contract, but money talks. Like we know money talks.
There's teams out there that'll pay him. They're not afraid. He's one of the best left backs, if not the best left back in Italy. He's a champ, almost a World Cup winner this year, and he stepped into that spot and he took it from his brother. Like he's a good player, and it's a shame that like at the time these guys can just go because they throw money at them and they don't care. They're like, oh, all right, 10 million. I'll see you later. MLS is calling. Okay, I'm out.
I don't think that's gonna happen with me. If anyone, it's Leao. I don't think they sell like Teo. Like Teo would have to be. They're gonna request like more than what like Cancelo, or right around the same number Cancelo's.
But I'm just saying, like there's always a dollar figure. There's always a dollar figure.
Of course, there's always a dollar figure, but also Redbird can't afford to just fucking blow up the team they just invested in. when they're financially healthy. It's suicide to the fan. The fan owner relationship or the fan club relationship is going to be down in the gutter for no good reason. Inter, they're a disaster financially. Milan's not like that. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. They're in similar like tough spots, but one doesn't have to be. One is putting themselves there for a stupid reason. And Steven Zong, I don't even understand this entire why are you holding on to this depreciating asset at this point? But they're only going to be worth less.
Yeah.
The debts are going to increase. You
If
have
anyone
to
that
sell
has
players
enough
just to keep
income.
afloat.
Mhm.
Then you're 11 worsen. So who wants to come in and immediately take over that squad that you have to fix? Then you financially have to take care of that. What happens if Milan end up going and ditching him on the project? He should be begging and pleading for Milan to take them with him, because the value of that is just only going to go under. Imagine that then. With Milan, I still think they're going to get flipped. I think Redbird's going to do that eventually. I think this is the way these people operate, and it's whatever. But no stadium attached to that. All your players leave. You're in tons of debt, and you're still holding on for what reason? It doesn't make any sense. And honestly, if I'm a player, I get loyalty. Inter's a big club, but I would have no interest in staying there.
Yeah.
I would understand if I was an Inter fan. Like with Milan, when like Ibra was going and Thiago Silva, and nobody wanted to join us. Like, you have to accept it. It makes sense why they don't. Like why would you? There's zero ambition there, and then on top of the money, you're not getting top dollar.
No.
Lautaro is going to be a wanted commodity. It's not, like, teams still need like a number 9. That's still a potential
Some of
thing.
the Italian players, I think there will be a foreign appeal, but historically we don't really see many Italian players like leave Serie
I
A.
think Barella and Bastoni stay, right?
Yeah, you might get some like emblematic type players like that where it's like, hey, I like Italy. Like I mean, we saw with Zaniolo, he wanted to stay in Italy. I know offers maybe weren't that fruitful for him. I know, at least from the opportunity
Roma,
standpoint,
yeah.
the wages
He's
were
a
probably
loser.
there. But like historically, we don't see Italian players really move outside the league. So
No.
getting back to Lautaro, Dumfries, like those types of players that it's like, hey, like Barcelona, 120 million, and it's like Inter, like, yeah, we'll do it, and then
They
you're
have to
losing
sell
some
at that
players.
point. In my opinion, they have to sell when they get those crazy offers, 80 million, $100 million. You'll just
Yeah.
replace them. You'll find someone. You're not like a third division team where you can only scout
Yeah.
within like, Southern Italy. It's like you have all the resources in the world. You just
Yeah,
made $80 million.
that's true.
You can reinvest that
Yeah.
and make another 80 million off of 2 more players.
Yeah.
Like they could have done with Skriniar and Lautaro and Brozovic. I think that as much as I want to see like those one club players, it's just not sustainable. And these clubs, they shoot themselves in the foot, and then now you have the whole Skriniar situation where he's for free. Milan losing players for free because they don't want to re-sign because of this and that. When you can make so much money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, bro. I'm watching this Manchester United game right now. Casemiro's like choking out a player. He's totally getting a red card. This is hysterical. like this. Oh my god, this is one of the funniest. You're gonna see this memed all over the
Like
internet.
Gattuso with Joe Jordan.
But he had one hand. Casemiro has both hands, like Homer Simpson on Bart Simpson. This is hysterical. This is like, at least this is, oh my god. That's one of this is. I'm sorry. Good thing this is why we stream. This is so funny. Oh my god.
Where are they showing the game at?
This is on Peacock right now. So if you live in the States, that is one of the funniest things that I've ever seen in my life. I don't want to be streaming that.
But even it's interesting, like with like the free transfer situations and stuff, and I know Beppe Marotta's had obviously this reputation he's built over years of being a very shrewd signer of those free transfers. You look at like how the league is kind of approaching them too, where I mean, like Juventus, they got Pogba and Di Maria on heavy wages for free transfers, and they haven't really delivered anything. Like
He goes to me. Who? You have cameras around you, idiot.
I'm not watching it, so
I'm sorry.
Oh my
I'm
God,
sorry.
I just
So
found it.
basically,
no, you're good. You're fine.
So it's a brawl. They go to a bar review. Ref goes to VAR to go see what the incident was, because obviously it was like a scrum. He goes back. He walks on the pitch. He's slowly walking there. He does the VAR signal. He points to Casemiro, and he wags his finger, or has his finger like, come here to me. And then Casemiro like zooms on his face. He's like,
It's like,
me? Like, what? And then he just gives him the red card. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in this sport. That is, you
Was
have
it,
to. You
was it
have to see
funnier
it.
than the reaction from Michael Essien when he was at Milan and he got red carded and they zoom in on his face and he's
This
like
is
absolutely stunned.
You
I
mean,
know what I'm talking about, right?
the reaction's funnier for Essien because he truly didn't do anything to warrant that. Casemiro is like,
And you're caught in 4K, you
Yeah.
know.
it's like if Zidane had, like, there was VAR for the World Cup final, and he's just like, me? It's like, come on,
Yeah,
bro.
we saw you.
Like, what, you think nobody saw that? Like, that's just the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I think that was hysterical. That was great. Sorry to cut you off, but that was
No, you're fine.
one
I
of the
was just kind of,
funniest moments in the sports history, in my opinion.
I was just BSing.
Yeah, but you're right on all those things with like the outlook for it. I think they keep some of those players. The rumor is Hakan is staying
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
So until 2026, it's the perfect type of club for him. I think at this point. But time for Milan talk. I mean, this is just a disaster. I have personally, Matt, and we've agreed on this. I don't think I've ever seen a Milan side going into a derby in worse condition in my life. Just the overall morale vibes, the quality of play, the level of player that is in this game. You're losing your best midfielder for this, your best defenders out for this, and your goalkeeper. So essentially, your entire spine is gone. You have backups, and the backups are statistically some of the worst players, not only in the league, but all of Europe. And that's Tatarusanu. Tatarusanu is one of the worst goalkeepers to ever step foot for Milan on the
You don't need
pitch
the stats
for
to
multiple matches.
back it up
You
either.
don't. There's 11
Podcast
goals
Wizard.
conceded on 13 shots. Like, what else is there to
Yeah.
say? I had people arguing with me. They're like, the stats didn't matter against us. Well, yeah, they did matter. They mattered because they had the worst goalkeeper. They matter because they don't have any smart defensive game plan. The manager is not rotating well. He's not giving other players an opportunity. He's now finally changing up a formation where it's a 3-man midfield with rumored to put in Macias in there. Okay,
Yeah.
CDK doesn't even get an opportunity now. He gets subbed off at halftime. He's at a borderline clown show now, and it's honestly tiring. And I like him. And they're not going to hire a replacement. I know he's on for the rest of the season. Anybody knows that. He has to get battered in this and in the Champions League in order to make a change. But that, I think they're going to make a change. I think they already probably should have considered one. Because this is just, how is it possible that no one else that you have is good enough to try? How is it possible? You're exhausting.
They would have to pay another coach. And do you want to pay another coach?
I think there's some like talented managers out there that you could try and go and get. And like, honestly, like, what's wrong with Tuchel for a year and a half or 2 years? I know you command a lot of money, but you're Milan. You have to do something. You can't just downgrade from a manager, but you also can't just sit there and say this is okay. Something has to change. The guy's not using any of the signings from the summer. How is that possible? How is that possible that they're all not good enough? When this guy took over, the reason he took over and did well was because he trusted in the new signings that this management made. But now he doesn't want to. I mean, I understand they're young and they need to learn, but brother, what are we not going to learn from Salamakers already that we've already seen?
Yeah.
Macias is older than everyone here. Okay? Like, this is we've really seen it, and the results are bad, yo. Like, Matt, you go first, and then Mario, just give your perspective as an Inter fan. But like, these results are garbage. It's bottom tier.
Yeah, it's the writing's been on the walls for a while now too, as we talked about in the previous streams here. You know, the results prior to the World Cup break were lackluster, and we started to see the deficiencies in this team. There's you could tolerate one-off losses. It happens. You know, things happen. That's football. We saw today with Everton, perfect example, right? They get a new coach. This is his first game in charge. What do? They beat the league leaders Arsenal at home. Like, clean sheet them. Like, it happens. This is football. But the results in the build-up to the World Cup break were telling, and they really showed signs of like, hey, like, this team is not fully equipped to make a legitimate title defense. And we saw the 3-0 defeat prior to the World Cup. We saw the Cremonese draw, who now look like world beaters, at least in the Coppa Italia. Fiorentina, that game was close. They barely won that one. And everyone's thinking like, okay, let's just get into the international break. Let's just get, not international break, World Cup break, excuse me. I think Milan's going to get crushed. Well, look, I mean, Nick, I bet Inter money line because Martino recommended bet Inter money line at plus money. So, yeah, I that's how I kind of feel too, Nick. That's my same sentiments there. But I think that the writing was on the walls, and the fact that they were very complacent in January, that told me everything they needed about my opinion so far, at least about Redbird. That they were complacent, like, hey, you know what, we're complacent. If we could just get top 4, we're cool with it. It's like I get that. Like, title defenses are hard. I understand that. But where is the little bit of money in there? Where is the reshuffling of the team? Where is, hey, you know what? This isn't working. Let's put Malik Chow in there. Let's put CDK for full 90. Like, he can't possibly be worse than what we have on the field right now. And the fact that we're still trotting out the same 11, you know, in most matches here is it's just you can't do that. You can't do that, and you can expect different results. And look, for all the negativity about Inter, you know, Mario Martino coming into this game and really for the whole season, they're a team that just put 3 on you in the Super Cup, and they have the pieces
easily could have been more,
like an easy 3-piece, like no threatening at all whatsoever by Milan. And now you're going to go into this game and you're thinking we're a couple weeks removed from that. Like, we might get humiliated in a derby, and that might be Inter's blood in the water type moment where they say, man, we could absolutely bury Milan with a heavy defeat here.
Easily.
That's really what we're talking about here.
And you guys have pretty much everyone, Brozovic excluded.
Yeah.
Like Mario, like I know everyone does this thing like it's a derby, anything can happen, but like you see Tatarusanu, like you have players that could shoot from anywhere.
Like Hakan, for instance.
Hakan, Barella is capable of it. DiMarco's
in for a goal.
Dude, he's going to score in this derby. By the way, it's plus 1,200 if you take Inter over 2.5 and Hakan anytime goal scorer.
Ooh.
Plus 1,200. Okay.
Oh,
I love all this stuff because there's also just Inter. You can interchange Inter money line over 2.5 and any goal scorer and say like the most likely goal scorer for Inter is Lautaro. That's at least 775 plus 775. That's the lowest you would get if you were to do that. I mean, there's just so many options. And also, like, to the point of the aerials, Matt, like ink swinging crosses from DiMarco, the guy's been fantastic. He's been better than Teo this season for sure.
Really good back. I like him.
But he's, I loved him too at Verona. But oh my God, this was a great purchase. It was that's why the Gosens thing was a little weird. It felt like an overpay. But Mario, like, you gotta feel confident in this. Like, they could either pepper him from outside the box. Set pieces are a huge advantage. You could send in crosses. We're terrible in the air. I mean, there's just so many offensive advantages for Inter in this. Like I was saying, the only way Milan win this one is if it's a high scoring win. There's no other way.
Yeah, I think there's definitely the advantages. Me, I'm not a DiMarco fan. Just putting that out there. I don't like him. I think he's a fraud. Yeah, please. You could play him. You could play him with as a 2 left back system, where neither of them defend. So it's
modern football.
Yeah, was it Gegenpress and shit?
Oh yeah, Ralph Rang.
It's weird. Like we have a lot of good players that just don't perform well together. Like last season, we saw Dzeko and Lautaro, and we were like, stop playing these guys together at any cost. It was like, these guys suck together. Just literally put anybody, because the combination wasn't working. Dzeko's going one way, lays it off for Lautaro, who's making a run the opposite way. It was like there was just no idea what the hell was going on. This year, it seems to be working a little bit better. I don't know. I really don't think Lautaro is used in the right role. I think they're trying to use him as like a hold up target man type of player, and it's really weird to me. I don't think that he should be doing this. And then like you have DiMarco who just goes forward, and the right back position is like an open card at this point because you have you have Dumfries, Darmian, who can both play, and I don't think Dumfries is good either. Darmian should be playing 100% until he's 40 years old. And
Dumfries is a perfect sell high
yeah,
guy. Come
I don't know why
summer.
we didn't sell him already, because we bought him
Well,
15.
yeah. What did you guys want for him?
I don't know, like
Could
I
have
don't
been
even
more
know.
than $1 million.
I saw 40, and then I saw some numbers that said they want him for 60, and it's kind of
Why
like,
not?
all right, like
Well, because they
Take
know
him.
that Chelsea got the bag, and they know these teams are like, hey, yeah, 60 million. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you offer 40, I'd take it because that's straight up profit.
yeah, I would take 40. 40
30 million, whatever it is. Yeah, 25 million. I mean, the guy's not worth 40 million in
No.
Serie A at the very least. Maybe in
No.
like Chelsea, he can get away with it because you don't really need to know how to play in Premier League to be good. You kind of just need to run.
You just need to.
That's all he's good at. He's just good at running. He's like a track star. And you give him the ball, he's got the brick feet. He takes out his own players. He'll always be open at the back post, and he'll never score. Like it's a disaster with him. At least with Darmian, you know you're going to get a consistent 6.5, 7 performance every single game. He's never going to let you down.
he's like a Milan product. It's no coincidence.
He is.
I mean, he stepped in as a center back and scored against
Him and
Atalanta.
D'Ambrosio are like the two players you want on your team that can play center back, right back, and left back.
If I'm correct, didn't Darmian at what was it, Torino, win like Italian Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Before he made his move to like that's like
he was very
so
good.
good.
He was very good.
So
he was very young as well. I think he gets a bad rep. I bet. You know what? I have a theory. It's because his last name doesn't end in a vowel. That's just my guess. If you're not Buffon, they won't love you like that.
Yeah, it's tough to be like Italian, non-Italian last name.
Yeah, I think that's everything. I think it's the whole reason. I don't see a win here. I don't like people are saying like 4-3. I see Inter fans like with this stupid superstition. I just don't get it. Like there's nothing to indicate that like it'll go otherwise. Like so now you're saying like Milan are just gonna sit back and try and defend. They're not capable of doing that. They're not capable of doing that. Your team is capable of just like the pressing was like unbelievable in the Super Cup, and that's just a Super Cup. What's gonna happen with this? With a worse 11 that's going out there.
I think in the thing that too, it's like there's no fear that it's just like why not just put everybody forward because you know you're just going to be able to just fire shots and that they can't defend. It's like the same thing with you know in like the NFL, right? Like if you just know that they can't pass the ball, just crowd the box, put 8 guys up front. You try to run through us. That's what everyone knows now. Everyone knows. Okay, Milan's in a very delicate spot. They can't defend. Their goalie can't stop shots. Bomb guys forward, and now you're going to start to see that. So I think that's why Milan really have no choice, and Pioli has no choice but to try and at least try to balance the numbers in the midfield. I think it looks like he's going with 3 players, but that changes.
It's Krunic.
You're adding a Macias. You're not adding like a defensive.
Well, it's Macias or Pobega. It's not guaranteed, but Salamakers is the right wing. Like what? I like Bronx. I guess not ready, but Adley not good at like I just like when are these opportunities? Yeah, he'll be loaned out. I think I don't.
10 million. Spent 10 million on the guy doesn't play.
He's because Pioli is stubborn and yeah, there's nothing else left to say. Like the guy proved it in a top 5 league. Like that's what the whole point of the loan was. And then you say you're not convinced of him, but then okay, if you're not convinced of him, why don't you loan him out? But you don't want to loan him out, and then he sits here and does what? What's the point? What does he get out of this?
I also refuse to believe. You know, it's a training problem. Okay, he's showing up to training and he's not doing anything. I refuse to believe that.
Please, it's a lie. It's a lie. The training stuff is all bullshit. Because you want to know why? Because there's so many players that look incredible in training, and this applies to any level. Players can look incredible in training all the time, and then you put them out on the field and they're nothing. Yeah. Okay, and then vice versa the other way. There's some people who turn up when the game is on because in their mind, they take it that much more seriously. It's not like they're to say like they don't take practice seriously like that. There's just another gear that certain people take their game to. Right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is practice, and he puts up 50 points in a game. It's like some guys are just
I mean, we don't listen. If Milan have an Allen Iverson on the bench, then Pioli should just be fired for not recognizing that.
It's CDK.
just like poor handling of the overall situation, and I think he's done kind of really a bad job of it. And I don't agree with people who are just like, yeah, well, he sees training every day. It's like, yeah, but at a certain point when the results are this bad at a club like Milan, you have to try.
You never know.
Bro,
How many
who's
times have we seen an injury happen and you pull on Kalulu? I'm sorry, Tamori, the perfect
well, yeah,
example.
with
Tamori,
Romano,
I'll
yeah.
use him as an example every single time. The guy didn't start, and you throw him into a derby, and the guy's the best player on the field. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know until you
Yeah.
throw him into the fire,
And not even that.
or you have the Vranks, and he
Yeah.
just loses you the game.
And Bronx, but this is the funnier stuff too, Mario, and Matt knows this. He puts on Chow. Chow comes on, saves a game for us
Yeah,
in limited time as a center back. That's so hard to do. That's so
Yeah.
hard to do in 20 minutes. You don't get opportunities like that often. And when you
And then
do,
Bronx
it's and
against
then Bronx
Fiorentina.
as well. He changed it. He played well against Sampdoria when Leao got the red card.
Yep.
Like there's been instances, and these are minute minutes, and they're not even like real opportunities. The only time he gave him an opportunity is when he tosses every young player randomly together that never
Yeah.
played together in general, and some of these guys never started a game, and he throws them together in 11 against Torino, who Torino takes a competition like Coppa Italia very seriously, and then they have this happen where they all
Yep.
like play mediocre and the chemistry's off, and then
And
he's
then
like, "Oh, look,"
fans
you-
will say, "See, these guys aren't good." We all know that.
because they don't understand it. And
Yeah.
then, like, again, you know this. Adley is not a number 10 like that traditionally. He's a Metzala. He's better as an 8. Like, why are we playing him in these roles that are not suited to his skill set?
And a
Like,
player that
that's
had a good preseason too.
Yeah.
Like really confusing to me. Again, I go back to this. If the players you have out there, it's one thing if Brahim or Alex Salamakers or Pobega or Kjaer or whoever is absolutely playing like really well and they're in a good moment. And you're like, look, we can't take out Brahim for CDK because like we know we want to give CDK minutes, but Brahim's playing really well. They're not. Like the guys ahead of them are not playing well enough. So at some point, where does that opportunity come from?
yeah, you're right.
You know?
I mean, I think Inzaghi does a good job of giving certain players. I think what he's done with Aslani has been better than anything Pioli's done. Like he's slowly integrating the kid in.
Yep.
You
He
know,
has
it's
to.
not.
There's
Yeah,
nobody else.
of course, but like even then, there's some trust there. You know what I'm saying? Like he could
He has to
strictly
play.
just like
These guys
I
have to
know.
play. These younger guys, they're too good not to play. And then you waste them, and then you sell them for $5 million. Like, oh, why is he doing so good over here? And he couldn't do this for
Yeah.
Inter Milan. It's like because you never fucking played him. You played him 3 minutes over here, 5 minutes there. What do you expect from
Yep.
him? I
Yeah.
hate that shit. That shit pisses me off because there's so much talent that just gets overlooked.
Also, too, it's even a waste with some of the guys that Milan have on loan. Like Vronks, I think has a 12 million option. You know what's going to happen?
It's a 20 game. It's a 20 match trigger, by the way.
They're not good. They're not.
as
Here's
well.
what's going to happen. They're not going to play him 20
19.
matches. Obviously, they're going to try to renegotiate it down, and then Wolfsburg are going to be like, "No, we're not doing that." And then they're going to sell him to like a Leipzig or whatever, and he's going to be a good player.
Dude, he's
Everyone's gonna
a
be-
talented player.
like same
he's a
thing.
kid.
That's what's going to happen. That's
Yep.
what's going to happen, and people are going to say, "Yep, he's not a good player. See, he doesn't play," and then he's going to go somewhere else. To Mario's point, and then they're going to be absolutely beside themselves when he's a good player. Like, yeah, like we knew that. We knew he had talent.
Yeah, who knows what this budget is in the summer? But you're right, though. I mean, I think they'll sell quite a few players this summer. Actually,
They
Milan.
have to.
I
They
think
don't sell well,
Pobega. I think they don't sell. I think they sell well. They think they don't sell. That's the problem.
Well,
I think
how
they.
much can you command for Pobega now?
I think you can get somewhere in the
We're only
high
gonna sell
high
it to a
high
Serie A
teens.
team.
Well, anywhere between 15 to 18, maybe.
No one's paying that in Serie A unless it's Genoa paying that for Sturaro, but that's
No, for Pobega, I think you definitely can. 15.
off a down year where
Yeah.
he clearly
He might
showed
be
he
able-
didn't get whether it be in the right system or not. Because I've seen people say the last 2 seasons on loan, Pobega's playing in a 3-man midfield, and that's where he's looked his best. And he's
Yeah.
playing in a double pivot, so that's why he's.
I think it's part of it. I think it's part of it. But he's a Torino level player.
What's
I
going to
could see him
happen
go to
is
a lower level team.
a team like Udinese is going to pick him up for
Yeah.
8 million, and then he's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a good player there, and people are going to be, wow, he's in a good team, he's playing well.
Yeah.
He's not good
what
enough to
thoughts?
play in Europe. We need
No.
we need guys for Europe. He's too slow. He runs like a lumberjack, like everyone tells you. I mean, like you see it, and I think he's played well enough that you can easily get over 10 million for him. I don't kind of agree with that. What am I smoking over there? I'm not smoking anything. This is Atalanta were just interested last summer for 20 million, and now all of a sudden the guy's under 10. Come on, like let's be real here. And he hasn't had he's been poor this season, but he's clearly stepped up in certain games where he's like showing that he's capable. Of being
I
a
don't
key
disagree
player.
with you. I just saying I think the way
I
the
know.
market is, the Serie A market.
I know you used 8 as an example. He's not going to
But-
go for 8. That's impossible. There's no way.
They're
I
gonna
think I
keep
see
him.
him going more,
I read
but
something too where they have to keep like certain homegrown players. Right? Isn't there like an actual quota?
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's why they have Kubis,
Gabbia.
the center back.
that's why Berni was in Inter for so long.
They'll have their guys. They're gonna sell
Yeah.
him. I think Rebic is another sale. He expires in 2024, I believe. That's a player you could get rid of. Then there's Salamakers, I think gets sold, or Macias. One of the two are gone.
Well,
It's
those
just
players are gonna be
it's
hard
not
to
much.
sell,
They're
too.
not much money, but I
Those
think
players are going to be hard to sell though because isn't Rebic on 3.5 million, and he's got a year left on his contract. He might ride it out and say, I'll play another year here.
Salamaker should go to the MLS.
Look how difficult it was to get rid of Samu.
Yeah.
Bakayoko. They're making so much money that you can't.
Well,
move
those
them.
are guys that literally never play. Like Rebic is like an injury thing. Like when
Yeah.
Rebic plays, I think a team would be willing to take a risk on Rebic.
I guess, baby. But
With
somebody
1 year
will want him.
left, with 1 year left,
Someone would take him. It's not like a crazy risk.
it's not. He's
you're not
not.
getting a
He's
lot for him.
no. I'm not saying you're going to get a lot, but it adds up over time. Eventually, like
You gotta
you
make-
have
you gotta
to get
make-
some money.
You gotta chip away.
You
chip
have
away.
to get. You have to. It's recouping something.
Yeah.
Like like it's. I would rather Chaka Traore get a chance, and they have to extend him.
Yeah, and I guess
Like as a rotational player, Origi's supposed to be this flexible. Also, this guy's training is garbage. It's garbage. How is Benacer suspended, not playing, and he gets hurt? How is this possible?
I don't.
How is that pot? That's not possible. I'm sorry. That's
Anything's
the last
possible with
thing.
Milan lab.
It's not even the lab. I think it's also the training too. The recovery. Say what you want. I think that's fair because I don't understand this Manyan thing. It
A lot
keeps
of it's the
getting
personal
pushed back.
training. A lot of it's
I mean,
personal training.
Zlatan was supposed to come back already, and now he's supposed to be. He's missing the first leg
Hate to see it.
of Spurs. But yeah, I can't think of anything much else left to talk about at this point. The outlook is pretty awful.
Do you guys
I think
think
it's
Skriniar
gonna
starts
be
tomorrow?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
I don't know.
You don't think so? After they stripped of the captaincy, either way, then it makes me like the over more. I think
Yeah.
that's just more goals.
Yeah.
At that point, I think there's not going to be a lack of goals in this. I will
'Cause I
say
know-
Milan did look decent offensively against Sassuolo, but like obviously no one wants to like look at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's whatever.
they won't. They won't. There was 2 goals scored and then 2 offside goals from VAR. So you would have had 4. With like how badly you were overrun the entire time, it's not the worst thing, but bro, I don't understand people who think we're gonna win.
You guys are gonna win.
No, we're not. Stop. You're just saying that because you're you. There's no other reason.
I'm a big Milan
eh,
fan. You guys don't realize that.
Napoli Milan fan.
I'm a
Any-
Napoli Milan.
You're like Milan, you're like Inter, and you're like Napoli.
I like
You always win.
can't lose.
Anything else about this
Prediction,
one?
final prediction. I know you said a high scoring draw, Martino, but
No, not a draw. Loss.
I thought you said high scoring draw. That's what you said.
If they draw, it would be high scoring.
Oh.
Yeah.
3-3.
I think it's a 3-1 loss. I could see 3-2 loss as well, but I just like where's the confidence coming from when Tatarusanu is there? And I think Pierre Kalulu is a weird center back pairing. And like again, that's changing. I don't have confidence in that. And that 3-man midfield, I don't know, man. That's kind of dicey. That's a lot of work. Like they're not going to be progressing the ball forward like that. And I think that might hurt Rafa because it's much easier to defend him now. I just don't. I don't see it, man. I got to be honest. 3-1.
Salamaker's is gonna torch DeMarco.
If he does, I'll send you.
Going
It's
2-1.
all
2-1 Inter.
2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think we keep it that close? Only 2
I
goals?
think it's gonna be closer than you think.
Really?
I think it's gonna be 2. I think it's gonna be 2-1. I think
I can
Milan
see
are
it
gonna have
2-1.
opportunities. They're not gonna capitalize on them, and I think Inter are gonna do just enough. I can actually see a Hakan penalty.
What makes you guys think it's gonna be like close like that? I'm genuinely curious.
I just
like,
it's more of the
what is
derby
it?
factor
The
more than
derby?
anything singular,
Okay.
like a singular aspect. Like derbies, like
They're playing in
Yeah.
Italy this time.
yeah, it's that, but also I think it's one of those things. Yeah, I mean, the Admiral's always like,
Admiral's always
and-
confident. I respect you,
Yeah, like
Admiral.
dude, like
I
better
can't.
man than I am, but I think it's one of those things where you look at it and then I'm like, it's a derby. Yes, you can kind of throw all form out the window, but you kind of can't
Yeah.
because it's one thing if
Yeah.
Milan have been choppy, they've been so bad. It's really hard in my head to be like, yeah, after a week of just an absolute shit show against Sassuolo, they're gonna somehow find it against their rival with injured players like Benacer not playing now. It's like
That's
if they
such
were
a big
healthy,
loss.
if they had their full team, if they had their maybe not full team, like if Tatarusano was still in there, fine. But if they had Benacer and like I would be like maybe they could get something from it because of Inter having such Jekyll and Hyde type season.
I mean, if it was a fully strong Milan 11, I think we could definitely win it. I mean, we had that. We played great against you in the first
Yeah.
derby. We were fantastic. I mean, it
missed that
really
one.
just took a silly Dzeko goal and maybe the worst marking, and the Brozovic one was wild. That was very weird. Brozovic running in behind your defense. You know something really
you hate
bad
to see it.
happened.
That should never happen.
That's
Anytime
the
he
last
doesn't
guy.
cross midfield.
Bro, any of Inter's midfielders running in behind your defense is just
I swear, if I see Gagliardini bullet header, I'm gonna fucking.
Nothing is worse than Scalotto header.
Oh man,
I was so
bad.
devastated in that one. I was,
was
like,
bad.
I mean, there have been weird derbies, but I just like, but there are weird derbies, and then I think there's like Milan, low morale. These guys are not good. Inter is still a good offensive type team. Again, like it's gonna be a
we have a goalie with a hole in his gloves. Just
we
like
have a
you guys.
goalie with
We
no
have a goalie
hands.
that has no hands.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's at least we got something there.
yeah, that's
Everything,
like-
everything out here. It's a safe. But if it's here, it goes right in the goal every time.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Inter should just keep everything centrally, and then if they need to swing out wide, they can, because that's another advantage. But they have so many advantages tactically. I just don't see how people like see this like going differently. Like Inter have to lay an egg. You have
They
to
would.
like it has
But
to
they
be like
will.
Inter's fault.
But they will.
There's no
They
way.
do that. They do that.
There's no way. They're
They
garbage.
do that. They do that. There's so many games where it's like there is no chance they're losing this game, and then all of a sudden, everyone just
Bro.
takes his shit.
9 goals in 2 games. There was a team that did not win a game since October. And they just walked in the house and dropped 5 on us. Many of which were savable. I will say that. Do you
Cremonese
have
is a good
any Cremonese?
I
No.
still can't believe that Sassuolo game happened.
Did you see the Fratesi goal? Is that's not an impressive goal. I'm sorry. That's not. That was okay. Did you see the near post goal that was scored by them? The second one?
I didn't see the
You
game
didn't
at
see
all.
any of the
I just saw the score and I was like, huh, fucking, I'm out 20 bucks.
It was garbage. It was garbage. It was Gabbia way late on the rotation. Fratesi just rips it near post where the angle is like the only area in which you have to watch the shot is near post, and Tatarusano still let it past him. The guy was running circles on a corner kick. Like every single advantage that you worry about with Tatarusano, Inter has an advantage with. Set piece is superior.
I typed in Fratesi goal against Milan and it goes, Davide Fratesi, welcome to Milan, 2022 goals and skills.
Yeah, there was a rumor over the summer.
Am I missing?
30 million Sassuolo, man.
He's supposed to be headed to Roma though this summer.
And Traore for 30 million, nice player, but man, dude, Sassuolo just
they know how to sell, man.
Those guys are going to be back in. They're going to be back in. Scamacca is going to be back in within a year.
So
is Scamacca playing?
He gets like starts every now and then, but he's been in
40
conference league
million,
and
5 barely plays. Are you kidding me?
well, he's still they're still like a talented team. They have good players. It's kind of hard to crack in that 11, so it takes some time.
Just saying, man, like
Adjusting.
40 million for a player, and he's like kind of
Well, you
cracking in.
you buy upside. Hey, man, if you defend CDK for his reasons, so you got to do it
But
with
we don't
him.
pay like. I don't know.
West Ham's a pretty good prem side. They were a pretty good prem side last year. It's not like they were just garbage, but
Then this year, aren't they like 16th?
they're not great this year, no. But that's just because prem teams there's a lot of prem teams that are like one season wonders and they're not sustainable.
The Leeds, they're battling relegation, right? They're like 17th. 18th?
Correct. Yeah, they're towards the bottom there, and they get
17th.
I don't know if they'll get relegated. It's very interesting, but yeah, I guess that's pretty much it at this point. I don't think there's anything left to say. Leicester won this morning. Brentford, Brighton again. Mitoma, 87th minute. That guy's a fucking baller. Only thing that saves Milan is an Inter red card, says Andre Gibson. Andre, I hope. I don't see it, but
Give me our red card.
do we see Jurgen Klopp available this summer?
No.
Yes.
For me, you mean
no? I mean in general, available.
Possibly, but I don't like.
I think so.
People are insinuating that he's a potential target for Milan, and they're that's funny.
Sane was Liverpool.
Huh?
Sane,
Mane.
Yeah, whatever. Mane was Sane. I'm thinking.
They're both on Bayern. They're both on Bayern. They're both
Mane
and Mane on Bayern. Yeah.
Yeah. Mane was Liverpool.
Yeah. No, you're right though. So how about this? I was like thinking about this. So like the way Liverpool and Matt knows this FSG bullshit. They don't like when these players ask for these contracts, they ask for like 5-year contracts, highly paid, right? This is why like Salah had like the 3-year extension. To me, it's like if they suck in the later 2 years and you're projecting that, you kind of assume that's going to happen. It'll be like 34 or whatever. With the Premier League, you're going to drop off. But like the first 2 to 3 seasons that you have in that contract extension of Sadio Mane, who's gonna be better than him? You're not gonna replace anyone that's better on that level. Like you could still compete for trophies when you have him there for 2 to 3 seasons. You just made a Champions League final. You're a Premier League side. Just fucking pay the guy, yo.
Yeah.
Like you had to have one or the other. Mane is like one of the best players in their history.
Did he finish top 10 in the Ballon d'Or?
Top 5. He finished top 5, bro. And this is why Bayern's the best run club in the world. I think they're taking. Hey, this is you are not running enough Louis propaganda, by the way.
Who?
Santangelo, not you, Mario. Looking around. Santangelo's not. You haven't been. This has been like the season where Louis looks like better reputation wise than ever.
The World Cup, man, that killed me. I took so much shit from people. Everyone's
Roma's winning Disney,
and I was like, I can't take it anymore, man.
Roma up on Empoli in 2 minutes. Roger Baños. Also, Lecce won. Mario, you got your.
I told you.
Did you? They were home. No, they were away to Cremonese. Well, Cremonese is playing for bigger things.
Yeah, they have goals. They have aspirations.
That's their Champions League final, man. The Copa.
If they win the Coppa Italia, they go to
Europa League.
That's so funny.
And if Juve were to somehow win Europa League, they go to Champions League. And if they both get relegated, there would be 2 Serie B sides in European competition.
I think
then the runner-up of those competitions would get those spots, right?
Yep.
Who would be potentially the runner-up in the Coppa Italia final if it's Cremonese? Who could they potentially?
So they face Inter or Juve. Mm-hmm. Well, and also another route for Juve to make it into European competition as well if they were to get relegated. But that's the funny thing too. Say they get their 15 points back, they just lost to Monza again, bro. So they're not even playing well in the games that they have.
Juve kill me, man.
They're funny.
And Chiesa's not 100.
They're a funny club. Yeah, man, it's like a funny ass league.
This is the Allegri that they have right now. Is the Allegri at the end of that Milan tenure? Yeah. This is how he was to us.
Actually,
guys getting hurt, dropping results against weird sides, but they're like defensively like good. and they get like good results weirdly, and then they're just
Yeah.
like holy crap, like we're actually bad when the performances are like against Monza. I think they're
It's
the first
crazy
team to do
how
the double in a
it's
while.
crazy how like their season has just literally been the epitome of a roller coaster. Like pre-World Cup, everyone resigns. Then they come back. They're on like an absolute 8-game tear. Call it whoever you want, fluke, Fugazi versus like inferior sides. And then they go into that Napoli game, and everyone's like, well, they win here, man. They're only 4 or 5 points back. It's like,
The
and then all of a sudden, the 15 points, and now they're losing to Monza, and it's like,
They lose to like the first Israeli team ever.
yeah,
Like
their
it's
season's been
a
like,
terrible.
League.
Yeah, they were terrible in the Champions League. Awful. They
suck.
were the worst Italian side by far. By
They didn't
far.
belong.
You know what's funny is like Milan actually had a good Champions League campaign outside of the 2 Chelsea games.
That feels like,
Like,
such a distant memory, though.
Didn't they
Like-
play good the first Chelsea game?
The red card killed them. Killed the
Yeah.
that game.
that was
It
the
was-
second
it was-
one. The second one was okay. 2-0
Yeah.
already, Admiral. Jeez.
Oh damn, Tammy Abraham. Was it? Is that his first? Still for the
Nah, he scored against. He's been scoring a bit more. I
got no
love how
water.
we're just shooting the shit right now.
I got no water in my apartment.
You have water? You said
No water.
no water. Oh,
Yeah, my
lovely.
pipes frozen.
Good lord.
Yeah.
Everybody, donate money right now to the stream so we can help Mario unfreeze his pipes.
Please.
Or you can
Anthony is right.
$500.
Mario's not gonna win again. If he wins again, everyone's just gonna think it's rigged. Yeah, I don't know. It's so yeah. So okay.
Yeah,
So we
lose.
could also like okay. So we all have like interwinning top 4 stuff. I have to see how Milan get Manyan back. There's so many games left, and a lot of teams
18
aren't
games.
separating themselves. Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
half season left. We really just play one more Serie A match without Manyan, and that's the Derby. For me, I gotta be honest. I don't see us making it. I don't, bro. I don't see us making top 4. I think this is just it's gotten so embarrassing.
You think Lazio keeps it up?
I think it's Roma,
Napoli.
Napoli, obviously, and then Atalanta would beat us. At this rate, like we lose this and then we lose another one.
I feel like Atalanta always falls off in like the end of the season.
Well, actually, when I was like doing that betting stuff, they were and I was researching it. Outside of last season, they were always playing better in the second half of the year. They had very poor performances. You know when Napoli like destroyed them like the first Spalletti season, there was like 5-0, all that, and then Napoli I think like was like really just like faded out. But like
Mhm.
Atalanta usually turn it around. I wonder why. But
I just think there's a possibility, like patches of form. Like you can get Roma to slip up in 3 to 4 games.
this is
Atalanta,
our
3 to
toughest
4
stretch
games.
too, to
Like,
be fair, schedule wise.
If this is the toughest stretch for Milan, and then you still look at it and you're like, okay, we're a couple points out of the top 4 conversation. You can deal with that from a top 4 perspective, but the context matters in this. It's like the way you get now, they're gonna fall fast. The form is terrible. They can't get results. They can't play good football. They can't do anything well. It's different, you know. If it feels different than like a couple seasons ago where Milan were playing pretty solid football and they were still in that top 4 conversation. They were pretty consistent. They had a good that was the year they had like a great away record, right? Like Milan when they had
when we finished second when Inter won.
Yeah.
I
They had
mean,
a
well,
great-
both
like,
both
they-
seasons they had great away records.
But I'm
yeah.
saying like they did some things well through the entire season. Like
I think
there
we
hasn't
were
been really many
winter
moments.
champions, right?
Winter Scudetto.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm just recalling the memes now, man.
Yeah.
because it's just all it's just
Oh
like
yeah, that was the Lazio, the goal from Taylor Hernandez, right? The header, the winner.
correct.
Yeah.
But we also drew against Parma and Genoa.
I don't think I'm not gonna say Milan are not getting top 4. I think when they get guys back,
I keep going back and forth on
I
this.
think
By
they're
the
gonna
way,
get back on track. I just don't know at what point that happens and at what point that they're too far off top 4. I think they'll still be in that chase because I just think that's kind of the nature of that league. It's Napoli and
I mean
then
they're
everybody
right
else right
there.
now.
You're right
But-
there.
There's so many games left though, man. I can't call it right now. I know Martino's like, now they're done. I'm like,
I'm not saying that we're done. I did just say on Saturday, I sit down early in the week. I'm like, I think we can make it. Here's the thing. I think we benefit from having a deeper squad than most clubs. Because like if a couple of these teams go in an injury crisis, they're
If
fucked.
Dybala goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still have multiple competitions. I just think the Magnan injury is like everything. And that angers me because a goalkeeper should not matter this much. It shouldn't be to this extent.
And I don't think fans thought they knew it was going to hurt, but
That should be a red card.
Yeah, that's a red. Zalewski.
Zalewski, that should absolutely
That's
be.
100% a red card.
How is that not? That's right. That studs up on his forehead.
Yeah.
On Parisi. There's no way you could tell me that. But of course, Roma are up 2-0 anyways with a Mourinho team. Hey, Eric.
they're just going to park the bus.
I should have bet this game. Fuck.
Always.
I was talking with my friend last night. I was like, Roma's gonna slap Empoli. I was like, take Roma. Be careful of the over because they're weird. But Empoli likes to just play. They don't care. They love exposing themselves.
Nothing. How is that not even a? Did they even give him a yellow there? Did I miss?
I think he got a yellow.
This league is funny, man.
I think that's pretty embarrassing. Leao gets a red card for an overhead kick, and then that's a joke.
That's a red though. That's a red in every freaking aspect. There's no reason that his foot's that high in the air. No reason whatsoever.
I don't even get that. There's no reasoning for that. I don't understand how that happens.
It's dangerous every time. How is this game 2-0 in 12 minutes?
All right.
You gotta go.
No, I'm just like.
I don't mind staying here. We could do whatever we want. We paid for this.
Yeah, I just feel bad because
Do you want to do a Roma watch along? I have nowhere to go.
Watch along.
Roma Empoli watch along.
I said Mario's like, I don't have water. I'm like, I feel bad. So I'm like,
well, yeah. What are we gonna do about it?
I texted my super. He's like, just turn the faucet on. I'm like,
I tried.
Nothing comes out.
Hey man, that doesn't work. What else you have?
Nah, he's like, just leave it on. He's like, leave it on until it comes out.
Supers kill me, bro.
Yeah, my super is actually good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's a good super. Every time I text him, he's on top of it. I had a super at my last apartment. The freaking guy, I had water coming into my apartment from the ceiling on like one of the hurricanes, and it was just fucked on my ceiling. I texted him. I sent a picture. 6 months, nothing. A year, nothing. I'm like,
nice.
Then they had the balls, the audacity to show the apartment when I was leaving, and this couple comes in. And they look around, oh, it looks good. And they go, oh, is this new? I'm like, that's been there for a year. It's like this like, I don't know, like the ceiling's hanging from the ceiling. I don't even know. The paint's just hanging. I'm like, get it. I texted the super like 7 months ago. He still hasn't done anything. They're like, oh, this comes with a dishwasher. I'm like, nope.
Nope. Try again, right?
Check next apartment.
No,
how's the golf? The golf,
yeah.
Look, man, we can't be golfing today. It's too cold.
Fuck that.
Couple weeks, maybe we get like a nice, decent 40 to 50 degree day. But
trip down to Florida, you know.
Do you get do you get why am I so dark? I gotta turn my light back on.
I'm going to Arizona though.
Okay. Scottsdale,
yeah, for a bachelor party. So
there you go.
We're doing I think one of the super duper courses out there that are just like basically PGA. It's going to cost.
Go to these golf lounges in the tri-state. Have you been to these golf lounges?
Yeah, there's a place called Golf Cave nearby that basically it's BYOB. They have like reclinable chairs. They have different games and stuff. They have like the TV on. And you rent it out for like 3 hours, and it's just your private room with like a bunch of buddies. So it's super awesome. But I know Martino's not a golfer, and Mario, you golf, right? You get out.
I'm starting to get into it.
Yeah.
I go to like golf events. I've been to Corner for Roma, or they appeal for handball. No, okay.
We gotta golf. We gotta do a golf outing somewhere.
I'm done.
Not interested.
What the hell? Just come.
You don't like us.
That's genuinely untrue. You like things I don't like, and in turn, I don't want to show up. So, I said Mets played the Red Sox at Citi Field. Let's go. and we never went.
So we could do it this year.
I'm down.
I don't know if we.
You guys can beat
I'm
up
about-
on us.
I've been-
I'm about to
I've
get
met-
season tickets.
I've met Mario. Well, it wasn't planned, but we've caught up at a Mets
Yeah.
game before.
I said, "Hey, you want
whose
my
bobblehead
bobblehead?"
was it? Was it? Wait, who was it?
Alonso.
It was.
Alonso.
Oh my god, was it the Star Wars one or some shit?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I threw mine
My
out.
headphone got disconnected, but I have it.
He's like, oh, it's gone, man.
I threw mine out. I had to move, and I was like, I'm never gonna. I don't need this shit.
I mean, Pete's great. My friend grew up with him in Tampa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I told you this. Yeah, he said Pete's a great guy and everything. He went in the locker room. He was there for the game. Pete hit the home run to break Aaron Judge's record. She's very cool. Pete's a great guy. He'll probably get paid big time by Uncle
He has
Stevie. Yeah, he'll get like 200 mil.
He's
It's
the next
great.
David Wright.
Don't say that. His back is done for then in like 2
He's
weeks.
back to cook.
Oops.
David Wright is like
Legend.
not even Pato level, but he probably could have been a Hall of Famer if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah. He was so good.
He was great. It's whatever. He's mad with that. I think the Red Sox are just. I think Henry has to sell. I think.
They-
Yeah,
I think
they're
he's
gonna-
he's operating like a loser.
yeah,
be
it's
honest.
just kind of a loser franchise. They won.
Not
good
okay,
at-
not that.
They're out. They're operating like one.
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
They won.
Yeah.
They won enough in the past 2 decades that it's like,
Yeah.
And
They're
that's
being outmanaged
it's-
by the A's.
Yeah, it's just
Well, he wanted Billy Bean for a reason. At the end of Moneyball.
they got
Yeah.
Billy Bean from Wish in Heim Bloom.
He's so
I
bad.
mean, they just hired him because of like Tampa, but he lost the Mookie Betts trade terribly.
Yep. And look at Dave Dombrowski, who left the Red Sox. He went to the Phillies.
Hey,
If you give him money, he can build a winner.
Yeah.
Well, you give him money in a decent farm system, he's just going to purge you of all your resources to try and win.
Fine.
Which is,
Dude,
yeah, no,
yeah.
of course, yeah, of course. I get it. I just don't
Look at
think
the guys
his
that got back
methods
in
are
that Mookie
just.
Betts trade.
Jeter Downs already got
Designated
DFA'd.
for assignment.
Yeah,
They got
Verdugo, league
got
average
some-
player.
they got some sort of reliever.
and then I think you sent them back Graterol, right? Didn't you do that?
No, he did. There was a physical thing with him, so they didn't take him in
Oh.
that deal.
I
No,
like
the deal
him.
was the deal was a shit show. You traded
Yeah, it was
away a
bad.
Hall of Fame player for Verdugo.
The
Yeah.
best Red Sox since Big Papi.
Yeah.
Easily. That was one of the best players I've seen with the Red Sox.
Ben
He
and
wasn't. He was like
Um,
below. I think Mookie was below like Manny and like Big Papi, but he was as
he
good.
didn't. To be fair, he didn't want to be there. He wanted to go to LA. Like he wanted LA. Like
I don't think that's true. I think he said he would have accepted the offer. It's just they didn't give him anything that was like reasonable about
Gave him
what was going on the
$300 million.
market.
I mean, he wanted.
I think Trout's getting 400 something. Mookie
Yeah.
deserves at least 300. Mookie isn't like
they offered him
150
$300.
million
They
less.
offered him 300.
I thought you didn't. I thought
They
you
got
didn't.
Connor
even-
Wong in that deal.
Oh, jeez.
I like Connor Wong.
Connor Wong, dude. Connor Wong.
I mean,
What
you
a
locked up
stud.
Devers, which is nice, but
What are you gonna do with him?
aren't there like certain opt-outs with the contract?
Probably he'll leave in 2 years.
I wanted him. I thought we could have traded with you guys. Honestly, Devers on the Mets would have been incredible.
Oof. They need a
We'll see
third
what
baseman.
happens. They'll probably, but they're probably going to rock with Beatty because they want to
Yeah.
run their organization like the Dodgers do. But this is the only silver lining in which Milan, bro, it's very weird because we all grew up with it, and I know you guys don't give a shit about the Mets, but it is weird on some level that the Mets are operating like this, and like you see
It's
Milan
unheard of.
like this. It's so funny to see the Mets like this, and Milan is just like piss poor. It was
Yeah.
a complete opposite when I was a kid.
It's
There's
crazy because they literally shouldn't be poor. Like, and I don't
There's
think
no
they
reason.
are poor. I just think he
They're not.
doesn't. They're like
They don't
They
want to
wanna
take
be-
risks. They
The
don't want to
financials
take
are-
financial risks.
financials are totally fine. Their wage bill is fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. It's a more frustrating thing than the banter era because the banter era, like you knew they were done for.
They were getting free transfers to Jerry Jimenez for free, Honda for free.
But this is like it's
and,
like this. The scouting is good. Every guy that they're linked with turns out to be really good, no matter where
they're
he
signing
goes.
players. They're keeping their
Mhm.
players on cheap wages somehow.
Like they're running themselves well, but they're not taking enough risk that a big club should.
Yeah. That's really what it comes down to.
and it's very frustrating.
They need a Robinho.
Renato Sanchez with another injury.
I love Renato
Did
Sanchez.
you see his
so
comments
much.
about apparently Messi scored a worldie of a goal, so we'll see. Can you ping a pet in the chat for me, Matt? Let's see.
And
See
then
this goal from Messi.
one of my friends goes to think that Milan missed on Enzo to wait for Sanchez, who they didn't get.
Oh my God, Messi. That's not.
He's done. Sanchez is done. He ain't coming. He ain't gonna be anything.
Of course not, dude.
Wow,
Messi.
what a
This Messi goal is incredible.
What a
Did you
goal.
see it?
Yeah, we haven't.
That was Jesus Christ.
That's nice.
That's just.
Sanchez.
Wait, which
is done.
Sanchez? Which
Renato
Sanchez?
Sanchez.
Oh, I
I
love
love how
him.
his comments were like, "Yeah, I want to be playing." It's like, oh, I wonder where you could have done that. But he also would have been a hospital player here for us, so it's not
But,
really.
but on the flip side of that, I mean, you could look at it two different ways. You could look at it that way, or you can look at it the other way. We're thinking, well, I know I'm injury prone. I know I can't stay healthy, so I got to get the most money I can. And he got it at PSG. He's getting like $7 million a year. He got like double what Milan were offering because it's kind of an insurance policy now, essentially, right? So like,
I mean, yeah,
I
Campos
can't
is
fault,
just
I
stacking
can't
up
fault a
bodies.
player for going for the money in certain occasions. But what does bother me is a player like Aubameyang who doesn't make like the Champions League roster, who doesn't play, and it's like, oh, I'm making all this money, I'm not playing. Oh, I want to play. I'm like, then take less wages to go somewhere where you can play. No, okay, then sit there. I don't know what you want.
He's not worth what he wants.
Right. Like I'm
Insane.
cool with players going for the money. That's fine, but don't complain when you're just second fiddle to somebody.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Oscar was like, I had nothing. I was like, I don't care. He's like, I just want to make money, play soccer.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's totally Graziano Pelle, totally fine.
Yeah, do it. I mean, you gotta respect it.
Hulk, same thing. Like, all right.
Yeah,
Get
live
your
his
China
best life.
bag. Get your China bag.
Oscar was like the ultimate one.
Because Oscar actually had a future.
Yeah, he scored that great goal against Juventus in the Champions League for Chelsea. He was like a 21-year-old player. Like he was good. But again, I just don't understand it with some of these players where it's like, oh well, I'm not gonna. Okay, then take less wages to make this deal happen. Yeah. Like you're not worth what you think you're asking, and it's like, all right, well then sit there. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
so much ego. I love it.
Yeah. Don't complain that you don't play. Like Sanchez, like dude, like you're at PSG. There's going to be competition.
Yeah,
you're not just going to break into teams like that easily.
Carlos,
man, I wanted him to be so good. I wanted him to go to Milan too.
I think he would have been, even if he played like 20-something games, I think he would have been pretty solid for us.
He would have ran the Serie A.
But no one wants to even talk about that either. Like, see, like I understand people like getting on Maldini and giving him shit for some of the deals that he didn't do, but a lot of the times the deals that he didn't do for the reasons that he didn't do them, people won't say, oh, maybe he was up to something there. Like Sanchez, like can you imagine the meltdown if Milan got Sanchez, they got for 15 million, we're paying him $4.5 million a year, and he played like 4 games? People be like, yeah, we knew he was injury prone. Maldini made a terrible move here.
Yeah.
But when we didn't get him, everyone was, wow, Maldini lost another player. It's like the guy's injured every time. Like,
yeah, they always lose.
They can't win
because they're idiots. They're the dumbest people on
the damned if you do, they're damned if you don't.
Yeah, it's a real shame,
bro. Here we go again. Twitter people starting with me.
Yes.
Carlos starts.
Listen, that's my 20th Scudetto is Martino getting suspended for
I'm not even like
Martino losing his blue check mark.
These people are blaming or
give me add a star to like my like.
No, everybody was saying CDK is not going to be good because he comes from like a no-name league. I was like, yeah, look where Savicevic came from.
Lukaku came from there.
I was like, yeah, Koulibaly came from there. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I was like, it doesn't matter what league you come from. And then they're like, oh, Martino said he's going to be Savicevic. No, I hate these people. I know Carlos is just trolling, but these people like literally like take it out of like context.
Yeah, it's terrible. Having a reputation on Twitter, like get a check mark and or some sort of following, it's like.
Yeah, I don't really care that much about it, but it's just
like
people don't understand the Carlos thing.
I should change. I should be just like a Milan spinoff of Mario sweatshirt. I should just
Yeah.
get the Napoli sweatshirt and just
Napoli
be like,
sweatshirt, yeah.
Oh my god, giveaway by Empoli. They're so awful, bro. Like, what is this?
I want Empoli to be
Tammy.
so good. I want them to win.
like the Sarri era.
Yeah, I just want them to be good.
What's it called? Valdefiore and Rugani team ran that show. Well,
They
Krunic
play
too, right? Was Krunic on that team? Oh, that was a couple years after. No, that was a couple years
after. There's
Yeah, I'm gonna
they
pull up that. I'm gonna pull up the roster on that team that Sarri coached.
they do things that I just love to watch when I watch soccer. Like in tight spaces, they just play one touch, out of pressure, so calm and collective, and then just counter with like 7 guys. And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then they let up the stupidest goals because they just don't want to defend.
Yeah, it's
I hate it. I hate it. They could be such a good team. And who was their coach last year? Like Antonucci or some shit like that.
Andrezioli. What's his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had them playing so well, but they're just such a weird team, and they're really not good mentally.
Let me see if I can find this. This is an Empoli team I know had some mid-table demons. Oh, here we go.
Saponara.
Massimo Maccarone,
Oh my god. What year is it?
2014, 2015. Mirko
Oh, yeah.
Valdifiori.
Who's
Simone
who's
Verdi.
yeah.
Luigi
Luca
Seppe in
Martinelli.
goal. Lorenzo Tonelli.
Pucciarelli. Oh man, Pucciarelli was fun to watch.
Rugani on loan. Mario Rui and
Yeah.
Husai too. Nah, they had
Levan Makalidze.
Who else did they take on those Napoli teams though besides his site?
they
Luigi
took
Seppe.
Valdifiori went to Napoli.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, he
bombed.
just didn't do well there, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked Valdifiori. He was a good player to watch. Luca Castellazzi, the goalie, Inter legend.
And
Yeah,
then
just the way they played was like good, and then they got relegated, and they've been like up and down.
they got Gianpaolo as their coach the next year.
Mhm.
Casari went to Napoli.
Bro, imagine that downgrade.
They got Saponara. They got
Mhm.
Zielinski. I remember that. Zielinski went on loan from Udinese.
Great player.
Krunic, Paredes the next year.
I think they're gonna sell him, Zielinski.
2016 they had Di Marco, Jose Mauri,
I
Carone, Levan Makalidze.
thought Mauri
Saponara.
was on
Parma. The
Parma,
year after,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I remember they beat Juve, and he was the 1 goal difference, and then
Pucciarelli.
I remember when we got Mauri for free. I was like,
Skorupski.
"Oh, we got this guy is next up."
They had Marilungo. Oh my god,
Well,
what
they
a
had some
fucking
guys. Man.
blast. And where they finished? They finished 18th. What a shame. They have no defenders, these guys.
Such a funny league, man.
I love it.
Like final season back at Milan, like he was really good. he's a really good player. And I remember all the fisherman memes with him. Remember that? Like all the memes that we used to do. Like, what a funny time, man. We spent like what, like 200 million, and like none of the players, like a lot of them wound up being literally nothing. That's unbelievable. That's just our luck.
I like players that just become letdowns. They're my favorite. Like this guy could have been so good. He had like 1 good season, 2
I
good
love
seasons.
when the players that I like the most are the players that they get opportunities at big clubs, flop, and then they come back and they're absolute demons at like a mid-table team. It's like
Oh
this is
yeah, I
literally
love it.
level.
I freaking love it.
If Berardi went to any like top 4 or 5 team in Serie A, I've no doubt in my mind that he would probably disappoint and underwhelm, and then he'd walk his ass back to Sassuolo and he would just score 4 on Milan again.
Oh, Martino, guess where Amrabat came from? Before Italy.
Before Italy,
Yeah.
he came from the
Belgian league.
Belgian league. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's just they
You know what
just
team's very
go.
confusing this year coming into the season was
Who?
Verona. Like Verona
Yeah.
just they got rid of literally everybody, and then they
Yeah.
sacked their coach and they didn't reinvest. And it's like, yeah, you got rid of Simeone, you sold
Yep.
Illich in January, you
Mhm.
got rid of Amrabat.
Yeah, I mean
they-
it was just like obvious, like yeah.
Like that's the problem with these. I think the league Serie A should probably go to less teams. 18
Well,
teams.
the
They did
rumor
have
they
18.
wanted to go 18 they did have 18 at one
They
point,
did.
but they were such a good league they were like let's expand and then
Mhm.
and then there was rumors like a few years ago when Gagliano was still CEO, he proposed like 18 leagues. He's like we should like move to that because this is just a mess at this point. But it's the thing is in these days taking on less games is less TV money and
Yeah.
And that's
it's
the last
really
thing we need.
exactly it's
Yeah.
just financially not wise. Like you're saying how many more games less it would be 4 games less, so four times less of like having revenue from Milan matches, Juve matches, Inter matches, like all these big games. Like that's not or big teams playing games like they're money makers. Like you can't just like not say that. Like it's just silly.
Yeah,
Every
this
other
league
week is a derby. Verona sucks.
yeah, I mean, it's just a team that they're just
How
half
do they
these
still have
teams.
Miguel Veloso? That guy is 80 years old.
Dude, it's just like these teams sell their. It's like it's one thing to have the model of Atalanta or Sassuolo where you're going to sell and then you're going to go out there and get like a couple players to reinvest. Like they sold everybody, didn't reinvest at all, fired their coach because they couldn't get results because obviously that's what happens, and then people will be like, "Oh yeah, this league stinks because of that."
I lost
Bra-
interest in the Roma game.
Yeah, because it's dull and they can't finish half the time. They play well. Brady has the 10-year, $375 million deal with Fox. I forgot.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. That's so insane. $375 million for Tom Brady.
For 10 years.
Broadcasting.
He's so awkward to begin with.
I don't think he's awkward. I don't
Is
think
it?
he'll.
No?
Nah, I don't think so.
Why do I feel like he's an awkward guy?
Nah. I never seen Brady be like awkward like that. I think I don't like Tony Romo that much. I think he's kind of annoying. Apparently, the CBS executives had to fly out to his place and be like, "Okay, you need to improve because this is not good."
They need to get rid of Joe Buck.
He's at ESPN. What do you mean?
I hate
Yeah.
Joe Buck.
Yeah, but he does Monday Night Football. It was his first
I
season.
hate him.
Every
I
time
want him
hear,
gone. I want him off my TV whenever I see him. I will watch that shit in Spanish.
Every time I
Greg
hear
Olson's
that-
great, Admiral, but I don't know what Brady's like, so it's kind of unfair for
I
me
actually
to
like Greg
say.
Olson. I think Olson's great.
Olson's phenomenal. He's better than Tony. That's for
Every
sure.
time you guys mention Buck, I think of that post match, their post game press conference with Lindor, where he's with his daughter.
Oh
and then
yeah,
his daughter says Buck, and he
Mhm.
goes, "Oh yeah, she likes Buck."
Yeah, she's a cute kid. He's from San Juan.
He's from San Juan, yes, indeed.
San Juan, Puerto Rico. He what do you call it? My roommate is from there. My old roommate from college from San Juan. They have the same type of Puerto Rican English accent. It's like so specific. It's so funny because I just like heard Lindor in like the other room and it sounded exactly like my friend. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. The way they pronunciate certain things, it's great. He's okay. Messi goal already copyrighted. Yeah, Bien works harder than the devil.
Don't you guys have a plug at Bien?
Bien. Speaking of Bien, man, damn, like yo, they're
I do.
rights.
I didn't have Bien for Serie A.
Yeah, I remember the commentary was always Bonetti and Cordero. That was like years ago too.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray Hudson, I think.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson on Gold TV watching Sunday mornings was the best.
Nah, dude, he's protect Ray at all costs, man.
Yeah, Ray used to just never be canceled or out of soccer.
Yeah, he can do and he can say anything. He can insult me on Twitter. I would still follow him and just still love him.
I'd probably frame it if he insulted me on Twitter. Be like,
He
I
follows
made
me,
it.
which is pretty cool. But he
He follows
follows like
everybody.
thousands of other people.
He follows everybody.
He probably
He follows
follows
me too.
Carlos.
He doesn't
Does
follow me
Bonetti?
though.
does he follow Serie A rants?
Who?
Oh my god, I gotta bring that back. That shit was great. Then I was like,
What?
you know
Yeah.
what? I
So
don't.
tell people what you do.
What do I do for fucking
Potato
score?
Boy 251. Get ready to get smashed by Tottenham. I
mean,
mean, yeah, it's
That's
likely.
it's not exactly a sharp.
It's likely. Good for Spurs, I guess, right? You're gonna write a book about it.
How we
just
beat the
doing
mighty
Conte
Milan.
things.
How we beat the worst Milan in years in Champions League.
You think this is the worst Milan?
Nah,
Huh?
Martino's
You
wrong.
think this is not the worst Milan. I've seen worse.
Form wise, yeah, in the Champions League that I've seen in I don't know how long, bro.
The fact that
probably the Atletico one where we got eliminated.
that Allegri Milan.
Yeah, probably just that one.
The Barcelona game was nuts.
Yeah.
The Atletico one was the worst one. When we lost to Atletico, that was the worst Champions League one. Can we explain who Tatarusanu is? Just the worst goalkeeper that's ever been in
Count
between
Dracula
net for Milan. I mean, he's old, he's slow, he's got no confidence, he was blind.
He kind of reminds me of like Waluigi, if you guys know Super Mario.
Yeah.
He's got like that like really like awkwardness to him. You're like, oh, this guy ain't stopping anything.
Why Milan didn't sign any goalie in January? Because
dude,
I mean,
they did. They signed a 24-year-old Colombian goalkeeper.
Yeah, they did.
Versus going after Sportiello, who could have been probably had for a couple million.
Ooh, Empoli had a chance there. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, listen, they had someone, and they didn't want to go over Sportiello.
I love how like the report came out like after Milan had all these poor results, and after they signed Vasquez, Nicolas Schira was like, "Oh, Milan are revisiting Sportiello." I'm like, we just signed a goalkeeper. Why'd you just get Sportiello before him?
Also, that makes management look worse. Gigi Buffon now would be better than Tatarusanu, probably.
Yeah, you're talking.
I mean, he did well against Inter. He did well against Inter.
Yeah,
at his age.
Dybala hurt.
Yeah, no, I think he just got hit.
He got a Charlie horse, yeah. That sucks.
I mean,
I don't get this whole Dybala doesn't play. He's always injured thing.
Well, now it's just kind of been proven that Juve had a really bad medical staff, and that's a big part of it. And it's,
I was like, he plays like 30 plus games a season. I don't know what else you want from a player.
Well, Juve fans are just very irrational people most of the time. Should just have gotten Handanovic for like 6 months. Potato boy, my guy. Hey, like,
you're a potato.
On what planet? No, don't say that. But on what planet do you think that's gonna happen? What makes you think Inter, who already have shaky goalkeeper, are gonna give their rival a goalkeeper in the middle of the season? And a guy who's their captain. He wouldn't even agree to the move.
No.
Yeah.
Like, that's why would he do that?
Should have got
doesn't make any sense.
Jordan Dida.
Yeah, Dida would be good.
Abbiati maybe. Who knows? The guy from Despicable Me.
Oh my god. Paletta.
I just get flashbacks of that double-footed red card he got against. I forgot who it was. And then he looked. I'm like, yep, this guy is terrible.
Oh, okay. Potato has no idea about the Italian league. That's okay. Well, we're here to educate you, I guess.
Yeah, you're getting them streaming times up, man. Damn, an hour and a half.
I mean, you're just sitting here.
He's trying. He's just casting the check at this point.
Yeah, he's
just complaining. I got people like arguing with me on Twitter, and then I'm just chilling here.
So just a regular day, right?
Just a regular day.
Martino's Twitter arguments are unmatched.
Yeah, he'll just like insult someone, and then like LOL at the end, and then it just goes back on for hours.
Me insult somebody? I don't insult.
After they insult you first.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't actively insult people. I will clap back at them if they like take a shot at me. That's like pretty obvious. Like,
that actually
the Jerry Cardinal show Mario. You see that?
I saw that. That's
Yeah,
hysterical. I
so
love that.
funny. Yeah, that's Jerry and me. It's like me at like 19. That
Oh my
picture.
god.
That's so funny.
That reminds me of someone. I can't think of who it is. Oh my god. It looks exactly like somebody I know.
Who Jerry looks like, or that
That picture.
specific that.
That specific picture reminds me of someone.
I don't know. Like a famous person or someone you know?
I feel like it's somebody I know. It's gonna bother me. Someone I played soccer for or with.
This sport is so funny, man. This sport, man. This sport is unrivaled.
I mean, what did they say? Yeah, Carlos got the. Carlos is the ultimate troll, and people just don't get it.
Who's Carlos?
Mr. Godwin.
Oh, he's great.
See, Mario gets it.
I see his shit. I'm like, this guy. These guys onto something.
Yo, Mario, you should get PGA 2K22, 2K20, 2022.
I think
PGA
I
game.
have it.
Dude,
I
that game
think,
is.
I
I
think
just
they
got
had
it.
it for. They had it on PS5 for free. I think. So
Dude,
I got it.
I got fleeced, man, because all my friends have Xbox and I have an Xbox, and I wanted to play like in competitions with them, and it's not cross-platform,
Oh, it sucks.
so I had to pay full price for that. But it's very fun.
Oh, Martino, you want me to just tell you what I wanted to tell you before?
Sure.
So the PS5 that they sent me,
Mm-hmm.
it's a discless edition,
Oh,
and they sent me the copy. of FIFA.
What's the space on it? Does it have like enough space to download games?
Yeah, that's not the problem. But they sent me the copy of FIFA, and then
you can't put this in.
That's funny. Hey, you could sell a copy of FIFA now.
Yeah, but it's
Right?
not really. You
Plus
can't really get
Valenza,
into
Matt.
it.
Plus Valenza, big time.
What if you just went back and like, hey, like this, I can't use this disc.
I don't care. It's fine.
I mean, you got a free PS5, so I
I
think
got a
you
free
can't.
PS5. I have 2 now.
That's funny. Give it to Martino so he can play pro clubs with us.
I have a PC, brother.
Dude, why do you think you're better than me because of that?
I don't. I'm just saying there's no disc. Do you want me to take my camera off and show you where the disc doesn't go?
I'm not buying PC, man.
No one said of anything about a PC. This is just you. This is you being a drama queen now. I don't want to hear this. This is ridiculous.
Martino's like, look, you should buy a PC, and I'm just
You
like,
you should. Because you're like, I'm having issues with my camera. I can't
dude,
connect.
you sound just like me, man. You sound just like me.
Yeah, that's exactly how you sound. I'm just like
Well,
trying to
Mario,
help
did
you.
you
You're
get a
like, I
PC?
don't want to.
I got a PC.
So okay, so now I gotta get a PC now because
You gotta
said-
get a
No,
PC.
no.
It's an investment that you're gonna make for the future. For
No,
work
like,
and
it's-
pleasure.
crypto guy.
Bro, you really don't spend that much compared to like some Apple like brand new laptops and shit like that. And
An
like
Apple
if you were to
An Apple computer is $1,000. You can build a gaming PC or buy a pre-built one for like $1,500.
Well, then I need your expertise to get the right
I
stuff.
told you this. I could tell you. I could help you with a friend that is great at building PCs himself.
Okay,
And
done.
you can get NZXT. There's parts that you
Yeah.
could get, and also like say like a mediocre graphics card is better graphics than what you get on
Yeah.
a console by far. And then
1060.
everything's
better.
faster. Empoli almost scored. It's
And
just
that's gonna happen soon.
I'm telling you, it's
Worth
worth
it.
it. Yeah. And also you could finance it.
Yeah.
These sites let you finance, you just only pay like a couple $100. Like I got the NZXT. I spent like over $2,000, but like this is like I use it for like a ton of things, and it's
Yeah.
gonna last me for years. This has been at least over a year I've had this.
These things last like
might
10
be 2
years.
years. I might have had this 2 years already.
What do you got?
This
An
is-
i7 in there, like with the
Is there
2080?
things that you can?
No, I
upgrade?
have like a 3060 or something.
Excuse me.
No, I don't know.
Is there things that you
bro.
could
I don't
upgrade?
know.
Like, let's say I get the PC, and then like
Mhm.
technology advances, and I want to upgrade.
Yeah,
it.
you can.
can update it.
You could update pieces.
PlayStation, Xbox, you're basically dead.
Yeah.
Once everything moves on, you're just stuck with it.
My friend said the best like analogy you can make is like it's like Lego pieces.
Yeah.
Like if one piece is like kind of like old and outdated, you could just take it out, put it in. Like if your
Yeah.
graphics card is a little outdated, whatever, you just put it back in.
Yeah. I build
like-
PCs, so I
Oh
do
really?
Is
Yeah.
is it easily like attainable? Like not attainable, but like
Yeah.
assembly, like the assembly's easy.
It's annoying more than it is hard. So like you have to just figure out the wiring is the hardest part. So like the wires in the case, you want to hide them so this way they're not like just all over the place
Right.
and messy. You want to be able to like tie them together nice, put them in the back of the case so they don't show, and then not affect the rest of the parts and like block out other places where like you're supposed to put the RAM or the graphics card or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably the next big purchase.
Yeah.
Already
I
got the
got a
mod.
pre-build. I got a custom built one. I didn't feel like building mine.
Yeah, I really don't feel like doing the extra work.
It's such a hassle, and I was like, I do this shit for work every day. I don't want to do this when I get home.
Yeah, I'll probably take a look into that. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
PC.
Okay. All right.
It'll fix your microphone issues.
No,
Yeah.
it's not a mic. I have a good microphone. Like,
Yeah, you do. He has a solid microphone. It's well, it's just you're using that microphone powered through Empoli again, bro.
the microphone's
Bye, Admiral.
very
Good to
good.
see you.
What's it plugged into?
What?
What's it plugged into?
It's oh shit! It wasn't plugged in this whole time.
Wait, what? Excuse me?
Now it's plugged in.
So, want to switch mics then in your settings? Let's see.
No. Like it's now the mic is plugged in. I had like you guys could probably still hear me, but
Yeah.
I hear you.
now the mic probably sounds better.
No,
Sounds
is
the
it
same.
attached though in your settings? Yeah, you sound the same. Go to settings and then your audio and then your mic.
Dude, this is a very common gaffe by me. Our producer Martino probably just is like, dude, I can't work with you.
We need to fire the producer.
Yeah, I gotta go to audio. Yep, it's using internal microphone speaker. No,
No.
here we go.
Nope.
No, what microphone is it? Did you? No, he can't answer. I don't understand. He's the only person I know that.
I've never seen this before.
Right? Yeah, this poor guy.
Amateur hour.
Try talking again.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro,
Okay,
you sound.
so I'm
better.
I'm in the settings though, and it says the mic is default internal microphone, and then the speaker is default internal speakers. So in order for me to use the mic, should I put the mic as the Shure option, which is the name of my mic? Or should I use the speaker as the Shure?
No, the speaker's for what you hear.
Yeah.
The mic is for what you say.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I can read his lips. He said, "That's what I'm saying."
It's not possible.
He looks like he. Nope. Nothing.
What about now? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So does this not sound
far better? Far better, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the mic is fine. I'm not fine. Like I don't know tech like that.
That's okay.
So that's why I rely on Pet, who does the State of Play podcast with us, Mario, and Martino to be like, hey, what do I need? Tell me. So I'm gonna be asking Martino for input on this PC.
Yeah, I mean, you just probably got to set a budget for yourself, and then I'll ask my friend for you. He's probably I'll try and like hook us up on a phone call so he could help you. I'm not truly, huh?
1,500.
All right. I mean, if you want to make that public, that's on you. I don't know if you care. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I even forgot we worked a lot.
Just go up to 2 Gs. You'll be
Good.
fine. 2 Gs is good.
Nah, I don't have that money. Maybe I'll do 1,000.
Again, you could finance it, bro.
Yeah, you can
So
finance that shit.
Yeah, it's not all up front. And I know, again, whatever your situation is, your situation.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
but it's a lot more doable with financing. Wait, so Mario, you game on PC? Like you play PC games?
Yeah.
What do you play then?
I just play like Call of Duty, some Elden Ring.
Okay. Oh,
You know,
Elden
nothing.
Ring? I never finished Elden Ring.
I never started it.
So you don't play it?
I have it. I just have like Football Manager.
Bro,
on
it's
fucking
hard.
on.
I never played like Dark Souls. Dark Souls are like the original games of
Yeah.
those.
I
And
played
just,
Bloodborne.
Bro,
Bloodborne was good.
I never played that.
So good.
I play Valorant if I play. I just haven't been playing many video games. Valorant's very hard shooter.
Mm-hmm. I tried playing Apex. I was like, fuck this game.
Apex is hard, but
I
the
was
frames
playing-
are so much
Yeah.
better.
I play a lot of Football Manager while I'm just working.
I never played it.
So fun.
Is it really? Like, wait, so
Yeah.
you simulate everything, right? You don't actually like play the games.
You don't play. You just tell them how to play, and
It's
do all the
kinda like,
transfer.
formations.
You ever play like
strategy, like Halo Wars, right? Like you kind of direct.
Yeah.
Right.
You tell them what to do and all that fun stuff.
What is it? What was those like sketchy like games that are always advertised, like those weird like phone games that are always being like advertised on like YouTube, like the Farmville stuff, like those games.
Yeah.
I'm just talking on my ass, you know, which is most of the time.
Can't believe Zlewski didn't get thrown out.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Why?
This game is
Wait. Why are Inter fans acting like they didn't mock Milan for like losing guys for free?
because they're idiots.
I don't understand this.
I don't even know why I'm an Inter fan anymore.
Dude, Twitter makes you just like not like
Question
the
a lot,
sport.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Such
Even
a
my Facebook days before that, I was like, you guys are all dumb.
bro, it's just you know what it is because you can't have like conversations really on there, and it's just like you have to cram in wording, and then like people try and always take it out of context. And
My favorite is Icardi situation.
what about that? Like
Now
how
the Inter fans are like, it's okay to bring him back.
now you want to, dude? They're such
It's so stupid.
short-term memory, bro. They want him back for what? Like what does he bring?
Nothing. He's a terrible forward. He's only good for teams that stink.
who?
Icardi.
Icardi.
Oh yeah, no.
I have been. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
no
we're-
problem. We kept you on long
We
enough.
just kind of rattling on now.
Bye bye.
Take it easy,
All right.
Mario.
See you, Mario. Thank you. Yeah, I think we could just wrap this up soon. Appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're still here, I know it's just a couple of people, but we're just shooting the shit. Roma up 2-0 at halftime. Probably gonna lose in the derby tomorrow. But see you guys. Matt, we'll hang back and talk for a sec.
Yep.